Yesterday we're talking about how to reach. What does it mean to have dveikus?
They said dveikus and ahava.
Yeah, the difference between dveikus and ahava. So dveikus basically means revelation. Guys, pick up the chairs, okay? I'm very sorry to share. Just pick up the chairs. A revelation of the yechida. So when the yechida is revealed, that's dveikus. Ava, as Hashem commanded you to have ava, to reveal the power in the soul that loves Hashem, is another thing. And then we talked about how sometimes you can have something that looks like dveikus, but it looks exactly like dveikus, but it's the opposite of dveikus. We said that's when a person looks like he's in dveikus and he's like, saying things with a lot of excitement and things like that, but he's just arousing the exterior part of his flesh, of his heart, and he's just moving his heart. But it's not anything dveikus, and it's actually, he's not serving God yet, he's serving himself. It's scary, but the thing is, don't confuse that with the kol that's more the kavana. Meaning your voice could arouse more kavana. The question is, what do you do with that kavana? In Tanya in chapter 42, it discusses how to get das. It says, what does das mean? It means how to be connected to the part of your soul that's a spark of Moshe Rabbeinu and being aware of that. Okay, and that gives you the ability to be connected to God. And if you don't have that, then you're not connected to God. So it's a two-step thing. The first step is basically doing tshuva from the depth of your heart. Okay, what does that do? As explained, it says that if you have fire, and let's say you have a piece of wood and it doesn't catch on fire, what do you do to make it catch on fire? Daniel?
What do you do if you do what?
You have a big piece of wood, it's not catching on fire.
You get a lighter.
You light it, nothing happens. What do you do?
Right away. Needs more oxygen.
Or you put a lighter fluid.
Lighter fluid is a good one, yeah. I was thinking that also.
Oxygen.
You cut it in smaller pieces. Oh. Okay, all you guys.
Does that work?
Your what do you call it?
Science.
No, what do you call it? People want to make fires all the time. What do you call it? Harshness. So the concept is that your body, the light of your soul should catch on your body, but it doesn't. So you have to beat your body. You have to cut your body up. How do you do that? So a person's going to think the way to cut up their body to make the fire of the soul catch flame on their body is by beating yourself up with mortifications and fasts. But the thing is, it actually does work. But there's one problem with it. What's the problem with it? Is that when you beat up your body in that way, what happens is that the soul that's in your body gets weaker at the same time as your body. So even though it does one thing good, but it's like a double-edged sword.
Penicillin, it kills the bad, but it also kills the good.
Oh yeah, it does.
You take probiotics too.
You take probiotics. That's good, man. That's good. Yeah. So therefore, that's good. Yeah. So you have to. So therefore, tshuva is basically able to, so to speak, cut up the body, but not mess up the soul. Because basically, then you make room for your soul to express itself in your body. Okay. Step 1. Step 2 is now that you did that and your soul's in your body. So a lot of times it's easy to miss the step 2 because you feel connected now. So all you want to do is just scream in your prayers and things like that, and you feel excited because you actually feel your soul, because you just opened up your body to express to mevatel itself, so the soul could express. So now step 2 is the kavana. So now within the kavana, there's a lot of things going on there, but the proper kavana, which means every person has a different amount they have to put, how much time they have to put into it. But the idea is that you need to now have a yichud, and the yichud is through das, and the das is through concentration. And that's through making a connection with something. In this case, you want to make a connection with Hashem. So now with this kavana, you want to unite yourself to Hashem. So the kavana is in the moach, but the moach in the brain, especially in the level of bina, has a special root in which it connects to the inner parts of a person's heart. So therefore, with the right type of kavana, then that flows down to your heart, and then you feel connected to God through your heart. And there's different levels within the levels of love you could create, but that's basically the steps on how to do it. So now the person that's stuck in this thing and he's just rousing his heart, let's say maybe he did tshuva, maybe he didn't, but what he's doing, as we're going to see, is that he's not doing the dveikus, yet he's still serving himself. We're going to go into how that plays out and how to fix it, etc.
He's sitting at a stop, like grooming his car.
Is what?
Grooming the car.
Yeah, he didn't put it on drive, he's on park or something, or he's on neutral. So it feels like he's driving, and you open the window open and the air starts flying in, like the virtual reality things. It has like the air flow, and then like it feels like you're like falling, but like nothing happened, right? It's imagination. Those like virtual reality, you put on the goggles and then you can it looks like you're jumping off a building, and then the air, they start blowing air at you, so it feels like you're actually falling off a building. You start flipping out, It's imagination. So that's what it says, Chochmah and Bina without das is imagination. Okay? Without das brings it into reality, okay? Okay, so now we're on page 348, third paragraph. So this guy is still serving himself. A little bit harsh, but you gotta know what's going on, okay? Is there another one of these? I gave them out yesterday.
I didn't get one.
There's one here?
I didn't get one either. It's alright, I'm just gonna listen.
What?
Yeah, I'm just gonna listen.
Okay, so now
I know better by listening.
he's serving himself, okay? V'lo over Hashem kol. He's not serving Hashem at all. Gam lo nikra ovdei Hashem gufam. He's not even serving Hashem with his body, which is basically serving Hashem by refining your body, which is part of Hashem, but it's not the ultimate goal per se to do that. Okay, ki of the Hashem
We're not even
begufam.
supposed to do that anymore.
Yes, there is an aspect to it, but it's not like necessarily a tachlis within itself. Meaning, depending on exactly what it's talking about. Let me see what he says here. One second. You know what it says when they're serving the body? You know what they... Let me see. 16? Oh, it says here, let me see. It means someone serving Hashem with their body means that they think their main reality is their body. Therefore, their inner feelings is mainly about physical things. It means the reality is physical. So therefore, their service of Hashem is things of the body, which means zichuch hagashmis, refining the physical. Okay, so basically, you start getting into all the stuff with the health foods and stuff like that. Okay, of the Hashem and Ishmatam and ikam. So if you serve Hashem with your soul, it means your reality is mainly your soul. Therefore, when you're serving Hashem, it's mainly for things of your soul. Okay, meaning connected to Hashem Himself. So basically, you don't want to be in the level of body, because then you're just living a physical life. Even if you're serving Hashem for that, everything's physical. Okay, now it's true. It does say about Eliyahu Hanavi versus Moshe Rabbeinu that Eliyahu Hanavi was in the mother's stomach for 12 months, and Moshe Rabbeinu was in the stomach for 7 months. So in the Samach Vav, it talks about it. And it says, for him it wasn't premature.
7 in the Gemara is okay.
So basically it explains that Eliyahu's job was to refine his body, Moshe's job was to refine his soul. It's a different thing though. That's why when Eliyahu, he refined his body to such a degree that he went straight up to Shemayim, because his body was completely pure. Moshe Rabbeinu had to get buried. But who did his burial? Hashem himself. Because his soul was so refined that automatically his body was refined. But he wasn't focused on the body the way Eliyahu was, so therefore he had to get buried in the world. We don't know the place of his burial.
Is that how Eliyahu Navi could go to a purely spiritual reality still in a physical body?
Yeah, because he refined his body to such an extent that he basically was able to go up with his body.
I heard he sends to an angel.
But Bechina,
Well, what would be an example of refining the soul in Moshe's case, and what would be an example of refining the body in Eliyahu's case?
I mean, it was the focus on what they needed to do. Like Moshe had to expand his soul to the largest degree, and Eliyahu had to refine his body to the highest degree.
What would be an example of that?
What would be an example of what?
Of Eliyahu doing that, like in practice.
Oh,
Like
what's
what
You know?
I know one.
What?
Because Eliyahu Navi was a reincarnation of Pinchas, and Pinchas did a tikkun of the body.
That's true.
With the murder.
With the Romach, yeah. Yeah, it could be good. That's the part of it, yeah. I mean, it's just that the focus is different. It could be that they're both doing Torah mitzvahs, but the focus is a whole different focus, right? Yeah.
Eliyahu also depended on Hashem to be fed and stuff like that, let's deal with physical body.
Yeah, well, Moshe Rabbeinu went up 40 days eating the Shekhinah every day. He didn't have food or drink. He just lived off the Shekhinah.
He had man.
Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't going on Har Sinai. He just lived off the Shekhinah. So.
Yeah, but mine is
He and he didn't drink.
Manhu, what is it?
Cool.
It says, yeah, but it's the Gil of the Shekhinah. It says that.
Yeah, in the Zohar.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Well, lo lechem levado yichayadam. That's the Bechina. Okay, so
Was he human? If he could do that, was he human?
Moshe Rabbeinu.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that those two souls that came from the world of Toh, and it came through the barriers of this world, and Moshe and Enosh, they both came down from Toh. So they came. That's why when Moshe came down, he says, "Misam Pela Adam." He says he doesn't have the mouth to speak, which means that even though he came with the light from Tohu, but he didn't have the kelim of Tikkun. So Hashem said, "Don't worry, I'll give you the kelim of Tikkun, so you can speak like we do here." Because each one has their own advantage. So he basically thought that even though he had all these high lights, he didn't have the vessel of this world, and people of the vessel of this world have an advantage over him. So Hashem said, "Don't worry, I'll give you the vessel of this world too." So therefore, he's human, but it was different type of human. Also, it's his Mina Mayim Misha too. That's why it's called Moshe, because he was taken from the water, and as he crossed through the worlds, he didn't have a tzimtzum through the worlds. So therefore, he's able to know everything down here the way it is above. Clearly, that's why we received the Torah through Moshe, because he was the direct channel to receive it, because he didn't change as he went through the barriers, and he passed it down. Okay, but we have different sparks of different souls that are rooted in different levels of Moshe, that based on the root of Moshe, you're able to understand things more than everyone else for that topic. That's what we saw one time, Rabbi Bar Nechami over there. He said, Ani echad b'negaim and echad be'olot, because his root in Moshe Rabbeinu's soul, he had those sparks to understand the Gaim the way they are Lamaila. Like way Moshe Rabbeinu understood everything, Lamaila and Lamata, the same, okay? It's cool, yeah. Okay, so now, this guy is serving himself. He's not even serving God with his body yet. I'll call panim oved Hashem nikra. Because someone's serving God with their body, they're still a servant of God. V'hu itpayalut she'ava la'Hashem davka ba'ava tivita gufni gamken, which is loving Hashem with the natural bodily love. Shegam nevesh tivita behemit yahev, because even your animal soul will love God. Kepshuta shamirka, as the pasuk says, v'havta b'chol levavcha. You shall love with all your heart.
Is that what it means? Avoid goofness?
No, he said, yeah, avoid gufni.
Terrorist is just there anyway.
Yeah, meaning he's serving Hashem through the physical lens, but he got to the point where his actual body loves Hashem too. Both your Yitzers. So that guy is actually called an Oved Hashem.
Right. He didn't work in the priest's alpha, but he exposed the alpha that was naturally in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Priesting's another level. But
Yeah. He didn't do the toiling involved to get a higher level thing. Even though it's not the essential connection to his godly soul, he's still called someone who serves Hashem with his body. Because his physical body is still being aroused to the God and the life of all lives. As it says, Libi ubisari yiradanu el kel chai. My heart and my flesh will sing to the God of my life. Bisari was my flesh, and ulev basar mamash, it means the flesh of my heart. Behit palut lev basar, with the arousal of his fleshly heart. Betanu gashmi, with a physical pleasure. Yitaneg al Hashem belibo gashmi, he will take joy in Hashem with his physical heart. And there is a higher level in this. The higher level is called Ava B'Tanugim. Okay, what's Ava B'Tanugim? It means that a person gets to a point where he has such a pleasure. It's like the greatest pleasure that you could experience, that this experience in Gan Eden, but you could get it as a gift down here. It's called Ava B'Tanugim. When you get it as a gift, your heart transforms, like the inner part of your flesh, of your heart opens up, which is normally locked away, and then you love Hashem like your soul loves Hashem in Gan Eden, and that's a gift. We're going to explain how that works a little later. Now, Leumat Zeh, Mameshu Inyan Hitpalut Lev Basar Chitzoni, Beretichat Vehitlavhut Esh Zara. So opposite this is the guy we're talking about before, is when the heart gets aroused, just the exterior flesh of the heart. It's called Beretichat, which means like he's like boiling his blood, and he has an excitedness of an Esh Zara, a foreign fire. Aaron's two sons, okay? Foreign fire. Which only comes from boiling of his own blood. Like a person causes himself to get excited in a very chitzonius way. So he's basically making his blood like move, and then he thinks he's having dveikus.
What's chitzonius?
Exterior part of the heart is like boiling. Yeah. Asher lo be'esh Hashem klal v'klal. It's not in the fire of Hashem at all. Ki im hitgalut libo b'saro b'chamimut rash be'esh le'achem et atzmo b'ma sheyargish b'chinet hitpalut. Okay, he's just arousing his flesh and his heart with this fire in order to warm himself up so that he'll feel excited. It's very small. Oh, sorry, it's very mistaken. Until he's going to come to a lot of imagined things.
He's not changing his behavior. He's not learning anything by his experience.
Yeah, well, he's not. His experience is like kind of like a fake experience. Like I mean,
he's making.
That's
himself,
all he knows. I'm saying, what are you gonna do? He doesn't know, but he just that's the only thing he's trying to serve God, but then he doesn't know how to really do it. So he just starts boiling his own blood. He gets excited, and then he feels excited, and he feels like he served God. And that's
the thing in his car, the light.
The revving.
In the car, and he's like, yeah, this is the stuff.
And everyone's getting scared and stuff, you know.
Right.
Yeah, he's revving the car.
Bro, you realize your car's not moving, right?
He's just revving the engine. Yeah. It's a good
his car's
muscle.
moving.
It's a good muscle. Yeah. He thinks his car moving because other people are moving next to him. So he's like, I must be going really fast. So you know when you stop and then like you start getting like kind of dizzy because some people are moving next to you and it feels like you're moving but you're not. So that's happening.
It's in neutral.
Yeah.
Is it neutral with the brake
You're
guy?
neutral. Yeah, neutral. But you're revving the engine so you feel excited. Okay. So basically, this person comes to a lot of imaginations, a lot of lies, a lot of kozev. How do you say English? Deceit, yeah. And this is also in worldly matters. V'bederach halatza, zeh shamru lo titpalu al dimchen, shemamez shelo yeh mitpalel b'dam bilvad al b'nefesh b'dam. Like the pasuk says, don't pray on your blood, which basically hints to the concept that you shouldn't pray with your blood alone, but rather with the soul that's in your blood. Okay, this is the lowest madriga, okay?
What about the concept of awakening from above, awakening from below?
Yes, so this is not a proper arousal from below.
It's getting stuck below.
It's getting stuck, yeah. Meaning you didn't go up the first stair yet.
So how would you know if
we're gonna see what it looks like.
This all seems
We all have to restart now. Everything.
Seemingly initially, whatever Hispaalus I initially feel, that would be what he's describing.
Well, you have to also let's say you stopped yourself in the middle of that, and then you calm yourself completely down, and you actually say, what do I actually feel right now? So if you don't feel anything, then you didn't really get anywhere.
It's all physical.
But it's a long-term avoda, this kind of stuff.
Could we say that it's like a klipa? So it's like if I buy a pineapple, I know for sure that the first part of the pineapple encounter is not the part that I eat.
Right.
Because it's the first part. Because I know that about pineapples, and so too with my avoda. When I start feeling, I know for sure that's pineapple. Because that's just the shell. That's the first thing.
That's good. Yeah.
And we're saying that if you say the blood means it's something physical, that's basically what we're saying is don't think of it as just blood running through your system, but it represents
Well, that could
physicality.
feel like it's a fake version of what dveikus feels like. But it's not, you didn't even do dveikus yet.
It's a similar feeling. So.
And it looks the same too. It looks the same.
And it means that you think the same way. You think the same. You think
no, you don't
thinking,
think the same. You think
you're
you're there. You
thinking
think you're there, but you're actually
but you're not.
imagination. It's still imagination, unfortunately.
You ever go for a run, and when you start running, if you run a lot, this will happen. You get winded in the first like little bit, and then once you pick up your pace, you don't get winded for a long time. But you could get tricked and be like, oh, I got my hard workout because I jogged down the block.
But you know what?
But then you know that always happens when I run. I get winded.
yeah.
And then once I run for longer, then later I'll be winded for real. But I know the first time is not going to be a real winded. It's going to happen right away.
So what you can do is you ask him, you say, can you actually feel Hashem there? And the person will have to say no.
No, they can trick themselves.
Yes, it's
No, that's the thing. Here, you come to all these fake ideas, and you come to things that are not in reality. So basically, you might think you reach really high levels. That's the thing.
But if once you question him on it and say
no, it doesn't matter. The person can say, yeah, no, I reached high levels. I felt dvekus because it feels like it could.
He's
It could feel like it.
Dvekus.
It could feel like it. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, the person that's doing that and he's used to it, it probably feels like that's all he knows how to get dvekus is that. Okay, it says a person should, a fool doesn't want understanding, he wants the openness of his heart, bilvad. As everyone knows, and the things here are brought out at length. That someone who tasted the true taste of the word of the living God one time or two times. He will hate his soul a lot if he lies to himself in these ways. He won't be able to handle it all. And why can't he stand himself? Because of the arrogance and the spreading forth in the exterior way that comes after this foreign dvekus. Lomar aniva FCR. Why? Because after a person comes out of that type of prayer, and he's aroused himself, and he's getting all excited. What does he come out thinking? Aniva FCR. I and there's nothing else. Mitzer har gashat atzmote, because he feels himself more than anyone else. Like someone who's praying like that. Then after he prays, he wants to go home, and people are in his way, so he has to push everyone out of the way because he's connected to God and everyone else is wrong than not. So he has to push everyone else out of his ways for him to get what he wants. Because he thinks that he's the only one in Dveikos, but he is completely the opposite. Yeah. Okay. Till he comes to an arrogance and picking himself up, like someone who's arrogant about the physical world. Like this, it's the same thing basically. He's arrogant about.
Important rich guy coming through.
Yeah, like you think he made a lot of money, but he didn't make any money yet. But he's acting as if, okay. And a person could also fall in his own taivas. He could go into a foreign fire completely. As many people fell into. Okay. It's a big trap, yeah. You have to catch yourself. And someone who's more connected in real godly connections, he will hate this foreign fire as a clear opponent. But this is a very refined thing to understand this. And there's many different levels within this, and even many people that understand things, they won't understand the clear distinction of all the details of these things. They only understand the general aspect of feeling your fleshly heart, and that in relation to actually being connected and moved by godly things. Like it says, my heart and my flesh will sing. This is what the contemplation of godliness will cause your heart, your physical heart, to feel, and will also get excited about it. even though it comes very in a way that you could feel it. And it actually appears to be similar to the guy who's doing it in an exterior way, that he's getting himself excited, not excited about God. So basically these things, they are completely different, but they actually could feel similar. So even those who understand may actually, it gets more and more refined understanding to understand the differences between the two. Okay, so but the more a person tastes the true light of the words of the living God and connected in the real way, and then it's able to distinguish more and more what's not real. Okay, so now, this distinguish how the two opposites. This is known to anyone who knows the ways of Chassidus, because there's so many details in it. This is hidden from a lot of people who understand. Even the great ones in them, until they make light dark and dark light. As I know clearly, many people are tricking themselves. They make the mistake of thinking that when their hearts are getting aroused by just, making the blood rev, then they think that is godly feelings. Just a physical feeling. That's it. There's a mixture of godly light and a very, very small amount that's mixed into this taruvis. They don't even know about that. This is called the Rishimo from the Hispaalus. Okay, Rishimo means, how do you say English? Remains, like the remains of this contemplation. The person does the contemplation, and a very small part remains, and that comes out, and that's mixed into the person's getting excited in the physical sense of making his blood boil, and that a little bit of godliness is mixed into it, and the person thinks this is vekos. That's the problems. I didn't come to make drushas here. I came to tell you actually how to bring out the godly light in your soul, okay, which we'll see tomorrow. Right. Yeah, he's not coming to tell you he actually tell you how to do it now. We're going to see tomorrow how to do it. Now, see the problems, now we know how to do it.